Hey everybody, my name is Tyler Waltz here with Nerd News, and today I'm going to be talking about Pokémon Champions. Pokémon Champions is something that I'm particularly excited about because I used to be pretty involved in Pokemon competitive, not like on a grand like national level or anything, just like local tournaments, mostly just, when you and your buddies meet up and you beat the shit out of each other on Super Smash Brothers. I did that for Pokemon up through Sun and Moon, but I have not really looked into or followed competitive since then. Ever since they got rid of like Mega Evolutions and they started doing like the Gigantamaxing and the Z moves and all that stuff, terastallizing, it all kind of got lost in the weeds for me, and I didn't have time to really commit to it. But Pokemon Champions is what Pokemon wants to be their new standard for competitions. And I think this could be a really good thing for the franchise. I think going to something like this, that's like a Pokemon Stadium-esque free game, could really bring a lot of casual people into competitive play, even if they don't want to get like as sweaty or hardcore as a lot of people that you see online with this kind of stuff. But for those of you that may not know what Pokemon Champions is, I believe when this video is releasing, it will be coming out tomorrow free on the Switch. So Pokemon Champions is going to be a strictly battle game. You're going to load in, you're going to have a like roster of Pokemon that you can choose from that I'm going to get into later on how you recruit those. And you can put together competitive teams to go online and do either ranked or casual, or I believe even fights against like AI opponents or computer opponents. So what's going to be the same as regular Pokemon? So a lot of the things that are going to stay the same is a lot of the move pools, a lot of like the EVs, and how battles are structured are going to be the same. From everything that we've seen, it does not look like they're bringing in more of the modern gimmicks like the terastallization or the Gigantamaxing, but they are bringing Mega Evolutions back. I have a theory that maybe as games come out and we get new gimmicks, they're going to add game modes, but I'll get into that later. When it comes to training Pokemon and what they can and can't do, I think one of the most important things that they removed is IVs. IVs are inherent values that Pokemon kind of start with, and they have a value between 0 and 31, and that basically means by the time that a Pokemon hits level 100, they have 0 to 31 extra points in that stat. And I mostly think that that's a good thing. I think IVs are an unnecessarily complicated layer of training for Pokemon. Essentially, what it means is that your Pokemon, by the time that they hit level 100, will have somewhere between 0 and 31 extra bonus stats in that respective category. HP, attack, special defense, you get it. And there are some strategies that depend on IVs, but it seems like they're really thinning that out and making it more accessible for people that don't want to just get absolutely blasted away by people who've been doing this for a decade. However, they are keeping EVs, not the Pokemon, but the values that you get from defeating certain Pokemon. So say, hypothetically, I have my starter Bulbasaur, who is the best. Don't fight me on that. And I defeat a Geodude. Well, a Geodude earns my Bulbasaur an EV in defense. And you get a certain amount of these that you can earn that will eventually add up to bonus stat points as you level up. However, in this game, instead of defeating Pokemon to earn EVs, as you do battles, you'll get victory points that you can redeem for better EVs to boost your Pokemon stats. I think that that is an incredibly streamlined way of doing it, and I can't honestly think of a better way that they could have done it in a strictly battle simulation game. Like, there is no story or wild Pokemon for you to train up on, and I think this will save players so much time and just streamline the competitive process that people are getting this game for. Pokemon in this game are going to be recruitable, and from everything that I've seen, I did not have any kind of early access. I'm just going on advertisements and what I have seen other people who did have early access reporting. But what it seems like is that every day you're going to have a small roster of Pokemon that you can recruit one for free. After that, you use your victory points from the battles that you've done to recruit more if there's more on the list that you like. With a system like that and the victory points and some of the microtransactions that they offer, it seems like there are slight elements of like a gotcha game where like FOMO, like fear of missing out on, oh my gosh, if I don't have enough victory points, I'm going to miss out on this Blaziken or whatever my favorite Pokemon is. However, I feel like a lot of people that are going to be really interested in this game have a Pokemon Home account, and you can import Pokemon from Pokemon Home. Now, I know most people probably heard microtransactions and immediately tune out. And I'm mostly one of those people, but this is a free-to-play game, so I'm trying as much as I can to give them the benefit of the doubt on this. That being said, Pokemon, very greedy. So I can't with any confidence say that they're not going to completely ruin this. With that, there are some starter packages that you can get. There's like a $10 starter package that gives you 50 tickets and 30 quick tickets. I've seen a lot of people go back and forth on what the quick tickets are, but it seems like the 50 tickets are the type of tickets that you redeem to improve those EVs or other things like that, maybe recruit Pokemon. With that, I'm kind of going to get out of what the game is, because there's a lot of other creators that did have early access that can go way more in depth than me, especially because I haven't been part of competitive in years. So what I want to get into is what my hopes for the game are as somebody who is always been interested in competitive, but in comparison to competitive players, very casual. So my hopes for Pokemon Champions are basically some form of matchmaking that makes it to where the people that want to be sweats can be sweats, and then let some form of matchmaking allow normal people to play this game. Because I'm telling you, the quickest way that you can lose people in this game is if you don't have any like regulated matchmaking between like casual and ranked, and people just step into matches where they get swamped by the unemployed. But I also think that they should have more game modes. From everything that we've seen so far, there's only single and doubles battles, and there are some people, including myself, who really liked the idea of terrestrialization but never got too in depth in it just because I didn't have time to delve into it. So what I'm hoping is that as they develop this game, they can figure out a way to fit more categories of matches in, or even some kind of like mini games, not necessarily a story mode, but bring in more game types than singles and doubles. I think that could really broaden your audience, and it would encourage people that just like the mainline games to keep this game like on the side for like team testing and stuff like that. Because you can't really convince me that Pokemon isn't, or like Nintendo or Pokemon isn't aware of all of the online like emulators and like Pokemon, I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but where you can just log into a website and other people are logging in and building teams and doing what this game already does for free. Another thing that I'm a little worried about is like hacked Pokemon. Pokemon already has an issue where people were being sent hacked Pokemon. I know this is more of a Sword and Shield thing, but I think it still happened in Scarlet and Violet as well. But people were receiving hacked Pokemon that people had brought in through home or anything like that, and it was like kicking them out of online because these people were not aware that their Pokemon was hacked. I don't know how the online filters are going to get around this, especially because I know even ZA, the newest game, had an issue of it. But I really hope they're able to figure that out, because I feel like that could ruin a lot of especially casual players' experiences. But honestly, at the end of the day, the hardest code to crack is going to be bridging the gap between the hardcore Pokemon players that love competitive and absolutely make it a passion of theirs, and the guy that's just coming home from work and thinks, man, I would love to play some just Pokemon battles. I don't have time to grind out all this stuff or like do the campaign or anything like that. I just want to go online and do some like old school Pokemon Stadium matchmaking. Unless the AI or like computer characters can really find that line between you just blast through everybody if you have any amount of Pokemon, I almost said Pokemon knowledge, and it being so difficult that it's just like, I would rather just play something else. They really need to hone in what this game is and who it's for, especially because they've already announced that as early as April and May, they're going to be hosting competitions on this game. Now, I do have a Pokemon Home account. My wife and I are currently trying to put together a live dex on it, but I don't think I'll be importing very many, if any, Pokemon from Pokemon Home onto this, because I kind of like the idea of building teams based around what's offered. I do think I might get the starter pack. It's $10 for some extra storage space and just some of those tickets to kind of boost up what you can do right off the rip. And the main reason I'm doing that isn't because I necessarily would do that personally, but I will be streaming this Thursday, tomorrow, if you're watching this the day that it comes out, to really get the initial feel of the game. And I want to make sure that with that $10, I can have as much as possible to test things right off the rip. So if you've enjoyed this video, or maybe I'm completely wrong and I'm playing it right now and you're watching this and you're thinking, man, they didn't do anything that he was hoping or have no hope for this game, let me know. And I hope to see you in the live stream. I'm going to probably be streaming it, maybe doing some casual battles with my buddies who also said that they're going to get it for the next week or so on Thursdays. So catch our live stream every Monday, Thursday. Mondays is news and Thursdays is gaming. And this Thursday, tomorrow, is going to be Pokemon Champions. So I hope to see you there and let me know how right or wrong I was. Thanks, everybody.